Welcome to class. Hello people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the part of the world you are watching this video from. And this is day 9 of 30. And I want to believe that all along you've been learning quite a number of things on this channel. This is a channel where we ensure that you get the needful as far as data analysis is concerned. We ensure that whatever you want to do, you get it done, not just as swiftly as possible. We also want you to do it seamlessly. So welcome to day 9 of 30. And in this class, we're going to be looking at the lookup function. We dive deep into the concept of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Just a quick overview. What does the lookup function, what does it entail? Many a time we need to merge data from different sheets, different workbooks, and as it were. So what we need to do is we need to find a way of bringing those information together on a particular spreadsheet that we are interested in working. And if that is the case, there's need for you to find a way of bringing them in without too much of an hassle. And one way we do that is by using VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. The V there stands for vertical and the H there stands for horizontal. So if your data is vertically oriented, then VLOOKUP should come to mind. And if your data is horizontally oriented, then the HLOOKUP should come to mind. Often than not, we work with vertical data. Most of the time, our data is vertically oriented. So that's why VLOOKUP is most widely used. So without wasting too much of time, let's quickly run through what we have for today. Now, here is a sales data that specifies the product name, the unit sold, and now we have the unit price missing. So we have another table that actually specifies the unit price per product. So what we need to do is find a way of importing this unit price to this particular spreadsheet. And you'll agree with me that because of the size and volume of this data, it's going to be more or less like mission impossible if I want to be entering those information one after the other. So what do? I need to use my prowess as an analyst to combine those data together in one. So how do we go about that? All I need to do is the first thing first. One of the classes I showed us how we can name tables. We need to understand naming of table. So once we're able to name the table, then we can proceed. So what do we need to do? I'll just highlight the table from which I want to extract data. So I want to bring data from this table. So the first thing is I will need to give that table a name so that each time I call that name, that table will actually know that this is where I want to make reference to and also want to extract data from. So once I highlight that way, I'll come to the name box and name it. We are at liberty to choose whatever name we want to use. So in this case, I will just use maybe product as the table name. Or let me use product 2. The only thing that you should know here is that space is not allowed when you are naming. Instead of using space, we can use underscore. So that being done, once you have named, the next thing you want to do is you want to start the lookup process. And before we start lookup process, it's also very important that we note this. By the time you start looking up, there's one part that you will get to that you'll be required to input the column index number. And what does that entails? It is not sufficient for you to just name alone. We also need to know, okay, what do I need from this table that I've just named? And what is the column index number for what I'm looking for? Like in this case, we are interested in bringing out the price. And the index number is just the number that corresponds to the column that you are interested in. So in this case, we're interested in column C. So if I count from here, column A stands for 1, column B stands for 2, then column C stands for 3. So that means the column index number becomes 3. If our interest is category, all we need to do is ensure that we count accordingly, and now we know that our index number in this case is going to be 2, but in this case it's going to be 3. So let's go ahead. So then I can come to unit price equals VLOOKUP. Right? What am I looking out for? Go ahead and look out for laptop. Then you can see the prompt. The next thing is table array. Table array is talking about the range. What from where do you want to look up this value from? So which of the tables do you want me to go and make reference to? That's what table array is talking about. And this actually refers to that table that we named at first. So if you cannot recall the name, you can go back and check the name for yourself. And how do you check the name? Just come down here. If you click this drop down, from you name the table somewhere around there. So if you cannot remember the name of that table, all you just to do is just click this drop down. That's one way. Sorry. So let's just keep. Or if you highlight, you definitely okay. We've highlighted something before. So just go ahead to where you have that table. Then let's click this drop down. So you see all the list of tables that you have named. For you to know the specific one, all you need to do is just highlight this table and the name will pop up as product. So then from there, let's go ahead. Product 2, right? So we have equals V lookup. So go and look up for laptop in product 2 table. Then the column index number, like we counted, is actually 3. And the last thing, do you want approximate match or you want exact match? We want exact match. We don't want approximation. So just choose exact match. Then close brackets and click enter. So automatically it will go ahead and set this table and bring the corresponding result that we're interested in. So once we have done for one and we have the accurate result, I will just really reference to arrive at the other. So you can see that this will save you time. So from here, I can continue whatever calculation I want to do. Away from there, if the data is horizontally oriented, there's a slight twist, though it's the same way. So all I will do is I'll just go ahead and transform this data. Let me transpose it to a horizontal looking data. So all I'll do is let me just copy this, Ctrl C. All right, then I'm going to use paste special to transpose this. So we have paste special, then transpose. All right, so now this data now is horizontally oriented. So now I want to look up values from this horizontally oriented data, right? So because it is horizontally oriented, VLOOKUP will not actually give me the result I want. So instead I will use HLOOKUP. So the first thing first, let me name this table array. All right. Okay. So I can call it maybe product 3, call it anything you want. All right. And once it is named, you observe that with the table array highlighted, you will see the name here. So then I can now go ahead and carry out my lookup. I'll leave the other one the way it is. So we have equals, in this case, HLOOKUP, because it's horizontally oriented, HLOOKUP. What are we looking out for? Laptop. From which table? Product 3. Right, product 3. Then the column index number. Now, in this case, there's a slight twist. The other time, we're counting our index number across the column. But in this case, we're interested in row now. So, since what we're looking for is in row, this is the first row, row 1, right? The next one is row 2. Let's go back. So, we have row 1, row 2, row 3, then row 4. And what we're interested in is actually in row 3. So our column index number will be 3 in this case. So let's go ahead and complete our task. Equals HLOOKUP. All right. So we have product 3. Then the next thing we want is, okay. Column index number is 3. Then, of course, exact match. Then we can now close the parentheses, enter. So you can see that we arrive at the same result. So the only difference is that one is vertically oriented, the other is horizontally oriented. On a final note, you can see that this particular one is missing. And if I need to carry out any calculation based on this result, but based on this lookup value that I just brought in, definitely I'm going to arrive at maybe error. I'll get error message somewhere around there. So how do we handle cases like this when maybe one or two of those entries are not available? What this implies is that whiteboard is actually not part of what we have there. So all you just need to do is you use the if statement, which I believe at a later date, one of the classes will cover how to navigate around the if statement and also conditional statements as they would. I'll be right about all for now, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.